Good evening. Thank you all for being here tonight. I'm Greg Ferris, President of the Forney ISD Board of Trustees. I hereby call this Forney ISD Board of Trustees meeting to order. It is now 7:02 p.m. And I certify a quorum is present, that the meeting has been posted in time and manner required by law. The monthly meetings are open to the public. Although these meetings are open, comments and questions from the audience will be confined to the time designated for citizens to address the board. Thank you again for being with us tonight. We'll move on then to our item number 3, introduction to the meeting, and which includes our invocation. We'll have a video in just a moment, but first let me read this bio about our speaker tonight. Nick Edwards serves as a campus pastor for Sea Life. He joined the staff in 2013 after serving as the overseer for 3 years. Nick and his wife Leslie have 3 daughters, Michaela, Allison, and Brooke. With 4 females in the house, Nick says he's learned that he will never win an argument and he will never have any money. In 2001, he graduated from Hardin-Simmons University with a bachelor's degree in church ministry. He loves to hunt, play golf, and watch Texas Longhorn football. As a part of Sea Life, they are instrumental in helping our students and staff in multiple ways. In March to July, Sea Life collected food and supplies and provided volunteers every week at the resource hubs. They even made porch deliveries to those who could not get to the locations. Sea Life's provided multiple backpacks full of supplies and volunteers at our drive every August for the resource fair. Most recently, they provided Christmas support to 191 students. This year, Sea Life has adopted Claiborne and Criswell elementary schools. We're thankful to have Nick Edwards and Sea Life Church as a member of our Forney family. At this time, I believe we have a video by him, and then we'll follow up with our pledges.
Dr. Terry, School Board, thank you so much for allowing me to be with you tonight. My name is Nick Edwards. I'm the pastor at Community Life Church here in Forney. As you can tell, my voice is a little rough. On January 1st, I tested positive for COVID and really struggled for the last week. But when Dana Curry asked me to be a part of tonight, I didn't want to miss this opportunity to pray for you, to pray for the board, and to pray for our community to start off 2021. I'm so grateful for you and your leadership, and I know that God puts the right people at the right places at just the right time, and I believe that is you. I recently read this quote. It's by Viktor Frankl, who is a Nazi death camp survivor. It says this: "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of all human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances." Wow, we get to choose that. We get to choose our attitude. And my prayer for you is that your attitude and that your choice today would be to have an attitude of gratitude, to have an attitude of hope, and an attitude of joy as you lead us and look forward to 2021. Let me pray for you tonight. Father God, we come before your throne, and I am so grateful that you allow your people to come before your throne and to make our requests known to you. We thank you that you are a God who hears our prayers and that you love your people. And God, in the midst of all the chaos of the world around us, we know that we can find a hope and a joy and a peace in you. Father, tonight I pray for Dr. Terry. I pray for our school board. I pray that you would give them wisdom and understanding, that they would make decisions that are so far beyond themselves that they have to look to you and to give you the credit and the glory. God, I pray for our administrators, our teachers, for people who are on the front lines, and that you would give them wisdom and help them to know how to lead well and to love well and to continue to have an impact on our community. God, we know that all things are in your hand, and so God, I pray for health upon our leaders. I pray that you would keep them healthy, both physically healthy and mentally healthy, emotionally healthy, and that during this time, God, you would allow them to draw close to you and know the hope that we found in you. God, we put our trust in you, and we thank you that you are a God who hears our prayers. We ask all these things in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you very much. We appreciate Sea Life and their support. We'll move on then to item B there, a Pledge of Allegiance, which will be held by some of our students of the month. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Luttrell, principal from Forney Learning Academy, and Ms. Branch, principal from Henderson Elementary, and they'll come and introduce our students. And after they do that, we'll stand and have our pledges.
Dr. Terry, School Board, thank you for allowing us to be here tonight. I want to take this opportunity to introduce you to Melanie Rodriguez-Martinez. She is a recent graduate of the FLA Goals Program. Melanie has 2 siblings at Claiborne Elementary and lives with her mom. Melanie came to Goals from Forney High School. Ms. Esther's Goals instructor reported that girl never has a bad day. She always finds a way to smile and move forward. Ms. Esther said Melanie worked really hard to finish her high school degree and will do well in life because she has such a strong work ethic. Now that she's finished high school, Melanie's pursuing a career as a nail technician. Ms. Schmidt, the FLA counselor, stated Melanie is goal-oriented and pursues her goals actively. She is persistent in making her future work out well. In fact, there are many days she walked to school even in the rain. As a final comment on the person Melanie is, Ms. Schmidt said, Melanie makes everyone around her smile and has a sweet laugh. Board, I'd like to introduce you to Melanie Rodriguez-Hernandez. Martinez, sorry.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Terry and the Board of Trustees, for allowing me to recognize the Elementary Student of the Month. It's with great pleasure that I present to you a Henderson 3rd grade student, Phoenix Toomey. Phoenix is the son of Clayton and Candace Toomey and has a brother, Jet. Phoenix moved to Henderson at the beginning of his 2nd grade year. It took very little time to learn that Phoenix was going to make Henderson a better place. Phoenix is one of those that when you're having a rough day, you can seek him out and he's going to brighten it. If you have met Phoenix, you most have certainly received a hug. Phoenix loves Thomas the Train and has probably read every Diary of the Wimpy Kid book, right? Phoenix's teacher, Miss Riegelman, stated that Phoenix has never met a stranger and always makes everyone feel welcome. He adds excitement to every day and is able to bring a smile to everyone's face. He's always concerned about how everyone else is doing and wants to make their day brighter and better. In class, he wants to be sure he's making everyone proud and leading a good example for the rest of his peers. When I asked Phoenix what he wanted to be when he grows up, he said, Phoenix. And that's right, Phoenix. You always be you. What a lesson we all need to be reminded of. In Phoenix's words, but the truth is, Phoenix has taught all of us many, if not more lessons than we've taught Phoenix. I'm thankful for Phoenix. His spirit is contagious throughout our entire building. Phoenix unknowingly has taught hundreds of students how to be a friend, how to celebrate our differences, and the importance of human relationships. My life, among with many others, is better because of Phoenix. Nicholas Sparks wrote, sometimes the most ordinary things can be made extraordinary simply by doing them with the right people. Miss Branch, do you want a hug? And I love you are the phrases I hear regularly, and I'm so thankful each time I get one of those. It's with a great honor that I recognize our Elementary Student of the Month, Phoenix Toomey.
Please stand for our pledges, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
Moving on to item number 4, acceptance of donations. At this time, Ms. Kristen Zastapel will represent a donation for the board to approve.
Good evening. On behalf of the Forney High School PTO, I've been asked to present a donation to Forney High School for $13,084.71 to be used for student and staff appreciation and recognition for your consideration.
Thank you very much. Appreciate, pardon me? Yes. You've heard the motion, you've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion to accept? Ms. Dobbs, do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Green, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I hear none. Thank you very much. Moving on then to item 5, recognitions. Ms. Zastapel, you want to continue?
So we miss getting to honor our holiday card contest winner in December, and so we've invited her back this evening to be recognized. So this is our second year to have a holiday card contest, and Jane Salgado, an 8th grader at Warren, created the beautiful cover of our card. So we have a short video recap, and then we'll invite her up. So if Jane and her family would like to come up for a photo, we were able to get them copies of the card before the holidays to use with their family, as well as her plaque that we had framed. Okay. Next is my honor to talk with you guys about January, which is always special for School Board Recognition Month. So the students and staff of Forney ISD want to show their appreciation. They know that this position is voluntary and you give a lot of your time and of yourselves for this. So you take time out of your busy lives and away from your families to dedicate your energy to our efforts here at Forney ISD. So we have a little thank you from those here in the district.
Thank you for providing amazing learning facilities.
Thank you, school board. Thank you, school board. Thank you, school board.
Thank you for volunteering your time.
Thank you!
Thank you for keeping our schools safe.
Hey, I'd like to say thank you for all the love and support that you show to the schools in our district and to students like me. for supporting the athletic programs, fine arts programs. I'd like to say thank you for coming up with safety precautions and things to keep us safe so where we compete and have fun.
So tonight, as you can see, we have a special, oh, it keeps doing it to me, Kim. Let's try again. Here we go. Here's your picture. So tonight we have some special baskets out front, and COVID made it a little bit different. So I know the campuses and the students and principals wanted to be here to present to you, but for safety reasons, they dropped them off today so we can let you know who brought your baskets for you. So as I call your name, if you'll come down from behind the dais and you can stand, we have the baskets labeled. We would like to recognize you and thank you. So also this evening, you'll be receiving a copy of the proclamation from the governor honoring you for School Board Recognition Month. So Board President, Mr. Greg Ferris, is receiving a gift basket from Ray Intermediate School and Crosby Elementary School. Board Vice President, Mr. Chad Johnson, and he's receiving a gift basket from North Forney High School and Henderson Elementary School. Board Secretary, Mrs. Barbara Jo Green, and she is receiving a gift basket from Blackburn Elementary School and Claiborne Elementary School. Board Member Christopher Andrews, and he is receiving a gift basket from Brown Middle School and Johnson Elementary School. Board Member Heath Carroll, and he is receiving a gift basket from Forney High School and Lewis Elementary School. Board Member Becky Dobbs, and she is receiving a gift basket from Forney Learning Academy and Criswell Elementary School. Board Member Scott Regan, and he is receiving a gift basket from Warren Middle School and Smith Intermediate School. So please join me in one more round of applause and a picture as we thank our school board members for the countless hours, their time, and the dedication that they give to making this the best district. Yeah.
Reports. The next three items are reports only, require no action from the board. First, we'll start with Mr. Chase with the monthly financial report. Mr. Chase, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. We're here tonight to discuss the operating results through the month of November 2020. Just to start off with the general fund, collections for the month was $7.1 million. Expenditures for the month was $8.6 million. Year-to-date revenue recognized is $31.8 million, or 29% of the amount estimated. And year-to-date expenditures was $46.8 million, or 41% of the amount appropriated. These we're pretty well where we expect to be this time of year when compared to last year's general fund. So everything's looking pretty well on target here. Moving on to the food service fund. In November, we had collections of $175,000. We had expenditures of $413,000. Year-to-date revenue recognized in the food service fund was $679,000, or 14% of the amount estimated. And year-to-date expenditures was $1.4 million, or 29% of the amount appropriated. As I mentioned in the background memo, we did start the first month of offering free breakfast and lunch to all students in the district. We a little more than doubled what our federal reimbursements were for prior months. It's a month behind as far as when we actually recognize the revenue in our books, because when you close the month of November out, we don't actually get the revenue from the government till the following few weeks into the following month. So it's kind of more or less we are on the cash basis all the way throughout the year until we get to the end, and we'll do some of the accruals and things like that. But just during the year, we keep it on a cash basis. But we did collect about $325,000 in the federal reimbursements that we received in December for the month of November. And as you can see in November, for the month of October, it was $132,000 for federal revenue. So again, it's a little more than double. However, if you'll also look up in the local revenue section where when the kids were actually paying for the meals, and you look at October's results versus November's results, I mean, we went down about $100,000 in local revenue. So it wasn't, almost a triple, if it tripled and almost tripled in federal revenue, it wasn't a complete tripling of our revenue because we had a reduction on the local side that offset some of that. But just to kind of put it in all perspective, I think when we talked about this last month, we were looking at potentially a $900,000 shortfall in this fund. And after we did some analysis on it and kind of extended that out through the year, we feel like we'll probably be somewhere in about $200,000 negative results, operating results through the end of the year in our food service fund. And as I also pointed out in our memo, in years past, we budgeted for indirect costs that we are allowed to reimburse the district's general fund for things like utility bills that we don't directly attribute to the food service program, but we allocate a portion of that back through that indirect cost reimbursements and the custodian's time to clean the cafeterias or the seating areas in the cafeterias after the lunch period ends. And so a lot of those types of overhead costs, you're allowed to recoup those through that indirect cost calculation, as opposed to trying to go ahead and allocate exactly what those were throughout the year. And so, long story short, that we normally get about a little over $300,000 in that reimbursement to the general fund as revenue at the end of the year, which we will not get. And so if you couple that with the fact that we're probably going to run a $200,000 deficit, probably the net impact in the general fund will be somewhere in the $500,000 range at year end. We're looking at some ways maybe to improve our revenues a little. One thing right now, as you know, we offer one entree option on that free lunch line, and we're exploring the possibility of being able to maybe offer two. I mean, it's going to be kind of a balancing act, I think, in order to make that work from the way we're serving it in the classroom. I haven't nailed down all the details with our food service department yet about how we would do it, but if we just made, not necessarily 50-50 of two different options, but depending on what the kids normally eat and based on historical averages and all, maybe if we prep that many, and if we got down to the end there wasn't any left of that one entree, we might have to just sell what we have left to the kids that want one at the end of the day or something like that. But just to try to balance it out and give people kids as many options as we possibly can, and still be able to make it work and serve in the classroom, because it's there's quite a lot of logistical prep and things like that we have to go through in order to bring that down to the classrooms. And so, but we are exploring ways to try to improve that a little better, and maybe boost our revenues up, and maybe help with even offsetting some more of that deficit that we're projecting at the end of the year. Moving on to the debt service fund, we had $700,000 in revenue for the month, but we had no expenditures. Year-to-date revenue is a little over $1 million, or 4% of the amount estimated, and the year-to-date expenditures was 18.6 or 18.7 million, or 73% of the amount appropriated. Again, those are pretty much in line. At least the expenditure side is. The revenue side, as I pointed out in the background memo, we're a little bit behind where we were here last year. I think we were about 10% collected at that point, but we got our EDA and IFA revenues. Actually, I don't think we had any IFA last year, but we got our EDA payments in the month of October, which was a settle-up payment from the previous year, and then we got our current, or that year's revenue in November, and so that's what caused the collection rate to go up in the debt service account. But we didn't actually get our EDA payment until December this year, and so that'll trickle in on our next financial report. So anyway, just to wrap it up, our cash and investments on hand through the month of November was $85.5 million. Large portion of that was capital project funds that we still had on hand, we have our debt service fund is starting to accumulate some resources. We will have in February, we'll have an interest payment that we'll be making that'll draw some of that balance down, And our taxes actually go delinquent on January 31st, and so we'll have a pretty large cash balance on hand at that point too. So that's the financial report. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Chase. Moving on to 7B, it's the board self-evaluation. I'll just take a moment here. I want to say thank you to each of the board members for participating in that and helping us with that board evaluation. I also want to thank you for all your time that you give, taking your continuing education, attending our regular meetings, plus a lot of special called meetings as we prepare for the fast growth pace we have here at Forney ISD. And just let you all know, it is my honor to serve with each of you, and I appreciate it very much. So Dr. Terry, you have words you'd like to add?
Anytime I can brag on this group, I'd love to take that opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Ferris. I just wanted to say how much, again, just to reiterate what Mr. Ferris said, how much we appreciate you. Tonight's a great night to be able to honor the time that you give. You give your time and your talents to this school district and our 13,000 kids. And I just wanted to say how much we appreciate it. Our staff, I would put you up as the best board in the state of Texas in the way that you function together. I know you're probably harder on yourselves than others will be if they see you function as a team. And I just wanted to say how proud I am to be able to work with you, how appreciative to speak for the staff over on the side as well as the staff throughout this district that we are of the leadership that you give, because it has been nothing but amazing over the past 7 years that I've had a chance to work with you. So thank you so much, and I can't wait to continue this journey together.
Thank you, Dr. Terry. We'll move on then to item 7C. Here's our Forney Focus update. Dr. Judy Weber, Chief of Learner Services.
It's always exciting to stand before you and show you a little bit through a video on what we've done the past 6 months. It's mind-boggling to think about how much we've accomplished this year, adding learning on top of a pandemic, but we've done quite a bit, and so we have a video to share. I will say this year we chose to have it to be narrated by our Synergy students, so you'll see some of them throughout the video. Thank them for their help with this endeavor. So.
Forney Focus Update. Fall of 2020 has proven to be a school semester unlike any other. Our departments and campuses moved forward into new learning environments, found new ways to connect and build relationships, and tackled challenges with innovation and teamwork. Let's take a look back on a few things that Forney ISD has been up to, starting with our Innovation and Information team.
In addition to more than 2,000 devices handed out to newly enrolling 5th through 12th, new 4th graders, and the Virtual Academy pre-K through 3rd graders, we have also rolled out more than 1,000 of our new staff Chromebooks. We launched our new help desk platform in May, for staff only. As part of our COVID response, we drastically accelerated the timeline and launched the student access portion 2 weeks before the start of school. Since July 1st, we have accepted more than 20,000 support requests from staff, students, and parents. To provide as much support for our parents, a virtual students and technology resource page was developed. Parents can find a variety of tip sheets and videos in both English and Spanish to support resources like Canvas and Skyward. Parent academies are also taking place 5 times throughout the school year to meet their needs both in English and Spanish. The technology team provides a new Chromebook tip each week to support teachers with their new device. Additionally, teachers will find 3 technology support pieces that will continue to enhance the teacher's toolbox. Partnerships held a drive-through back-to-school resource fair this year and provided more than 800 Forney ISD students with backpacks filled with school supplies. Toys to more than 800 children for the 2020 holiday season through the Holiday Wishes program. The Communications Department monthly Enlighten newsletter reaches more than 20,000 readers each month. Forney ISD has had an amazing start to the school year in regards to college, career, and military readiness for our students. We have provided the following opportunities for our students this first semester. ACT testing during school day for all seniors in October and will be provided to juniors in the spring. TSI testing for seniors, FISD virtual college fair, ASVAB testing for all students. 9th grade students will take TSI tests provided by the Forney Education Foundation, PSAT opportunity for 8th through 10th grade students. With expanded partnership with Dallas College, all Forney ISD's dual credit students will receive a scholarship covering the full cost of their tuition for dual credit courses. Every member of our Forney family, students, staff, and Forney residents will qualify for in-district tuition for Dallas College at Forney for all courses currently offered in Forney ISD. And with our partnership with Google, we're excited to announce the first of many opportunities for our FISD students beginning in the spring 2021. Our students will have the opportunity to take the Google IT Professional Support Certification at no cost to them. This certification will provide students access to recruiters for job placement and opportunity for up to 12 hours of college credit towards an associate's degree. Region 10 has chosen to highlight Forney ISD's Synergy program to all surrounding districts as the model for work-based learning.
I wanted to tell you
For me to say,
You're here because
how much I appreciate you and how much hope you bring me.
The Synergy students partnered with lead-worthy teachers nationwide to spread hope to all. #HopeHandoff. The counseling department is providing 160 plus weekend food bags to students K through 12. First annual Forney Family District-wide Red Ribbon Week was a success. The counseling department has increased social, emotional, and mental health support for all K through 12 students with new curriculum, resources, and training from Why Try and Resilience for Youth. Future Ready Journey monthly newsletter regarding all things college, career, and military readiness, providing our Forney families with upcoming events, tips, CTE program, highlights, and more for parents and students.
From new and constant cleaning protocols to thousands of expedited purchase orders to get in equipment to keep our learning environments as safe as possible, our finance and operations team have worked tirelessly behind the scenes to support everyone in the district.
To respond to the outbreak of COVID-19, our food service department has successfully transitioned to serving breakfast and lunch in classrooms throughout the district. This has helped maintain social distance requirements and provided a safer learning environment for our students.
If you haven't heard, we're still growing, even during a pandemic, which means Human Services is continuing to serve our littles and our grown-ups through student services and human resources. As always, we're hiring and enrolling daily.
Forney ISD has fully staffed and successfully started our own Forney ISD Police Department under the direction of Chief Joe Sanders and Captain Jason Saunders. Our leadership has created a law enforcement agency that provides a safe learning environment where our students, faculty, support staff, and our district property are protected. We also implemented a threat assessment management system with a multi-tiered support program. For our emergency operations plan, we adopted the standard response protocol and standard reunification method from the I Love You Guys Foundation that is endorsed by the Texas School Safety Center. Forney ISD was awarded a school safety and security grant in the amount of $180,143 to be used to enhance safety measures at our campuses. The Forney ISD Transportation Department implemented the Smart Tag system designed to ensure authorized ridership and help enhance the safety of students who utilize bus transportation. The Smart Tag enables monitoring of where and when students board or disembark a bus, ensuring students only board their designated bus, increasing bus driver and parent guardian awareness. The Diverse and Inclusive Community Unified Committee is an ongoing effort put together by a team of leaders in our district. The purpose of the committee is to work collaboratively to advocate and support diversity in our school, community, and curriculum, to encourage opportunities for students, staff, faculty, and family in order to grow in their own understanding of diversity, and to promote equality of opportunity for all members to be contributing community members. Forney ISD develops safety protocols allowing students/families the opportunity for face-to-face education during the pandemic, following the strict guidelines of CDC and TEA. In the absence of our own health department for guidance, health services staff is utilizing the self-report process to contact trace in order to keep our community informed of COVID cases in our district. Both the Forney and North Forney varsity volleyball programs had successful seasons this year, with both making into the playoffs. The North Forney football team won the district and had a successful run in the playoffs. The Citibank Stadium went through major renovations with new turf and track for the 2020 to 2021 school year.
Our Learner Services team has risen to the challenge of creating safe, secure, innovative, and engaging on-site and virtual learning environments, and is continuing to adapt to the changes of our world and changing needs of our students and community.
Our Fine Arts department created individual art kits for each elementary art student. Our Fine Arts department has gone virtual. Check out this link or QR code for our FHS Virtual Fall Choir Concert. Our Fine Arts teachers received additional classroom support such as classroom voice amplification devices in choir and elementary music, additional instruments purchased for elementary music, and special face shields for choir classrooms, new piano, and band uniforms at NFHS. Bell covers were purchased for all middle school and high school band students. The Blackburn Academy is going well. We are offering piano lab, dance, and theater for the first time. Given the limitations COVID presented, the GT team created a 30-hour foundations training for any teachers. This year, they've been working with teachers on all K-4 campuses to implement Kinder and First GT planned experiences to help early identification of GT students. They implemented the new K-4 GT push in model at all of the elementary campuses using a curriculum developed by Forney ISD. It is accompanied by a monthly parent newsletter. They also meet each week virtually with GT K-4 students that have selected that learning environment to be sure all of our students are reached. In July, the learning team collaborated with a group of 40 teachers to create online content for the first 3 weeks of virtual learning. The teachers recorded and edited their direct instruction and created online assignments and quizzes for teachers to utilize with their students. These pre-recorded lessons ensured that our virtual teachers could focus on relationship building, technology, and small group instruction during the first weeks of school. The team of 14 learning specialists transitioned to the administration building to become virtual core content creators. Through this collaborative process, almost 80 days of instruction were created for K-8 virtual teachers in math, English, science, and social studies so that our virtual teachers can focus on small group instruction and the individual needs of the students they serve in this new learning environment. In accordance with HB 3, the learning team trained teachers on a new reading instrument for kindergarten through 2nd grade. Campus leaders utilize this detailed reading data to set short and long-term goals for reading at their campus. Common formative assessments are being created in core content areas to provide alignment and equity across the district. These assessments are open-ended and rubric-based to allow the teacher to examine each student's level of understanding of key concepts. Future-ready curriculum is in the development, review, and implementation phase for 3rd and 4th grade ELAR and math. In collaboration with the digital development team and the virtual principals, the curriculum department offered 8 professional development sessions for virtual teachers to attend through September and October. Topics range from curriculum, virtual instruction, assessment, to district digital resources. During the fall, the learning team hosted virtual professional development on Education Galaxy, Reading AZ, Leveled Literacy Intervention, Edpuzzle, and Dino to support both face-to-face and virtual teachers. They even offered one-on-one support via FaceTime when that is what best fits the needs of the teacher. The learning team hosted a week of new teacher induction at 3 locations for over 200 new to Forney ISD teachers. Teachers were introduced to Canvas, brain-based instructional practices, as well as curriculum and instructional resources, human resources, communications, special education, and student services departments. New employees that are in their first year of teaching are being supported through new to teaching academies. The learning team hosted their first collaborative session in September to discuss classroom management and other pressing topics. The Academy will continue to meet quarterly throughout the remainder of the 20 to 2021 school year. Contactless PE. They said it couldn't be done. Challenge accepted. This year, we are implementing contactless PE at FLA for grades 2 through 8. The Special Populations Department, in collaboration with Pam Luttrell and her staff, completely redesigned the Special Ed Behavior Program for students in kinder through 6th grade. We began implementing the new program at the Forney Learning Academy at the beginning of this school year. The program also includes additional ways to support campuses with students who are experiencing behavioral challenges. The Special Populations Department provided training to all special education paraprofessionals during a 4-day paraprofessional summit at the end of July. Training included topics such as managing student behavior, health services, working in the self-contained classroom, and autism. In response to the pandemic and virtual learning environment, the Special Populations Department assembled over 100 boxes and bags of instructional materials and manipulatives for all the ECSE students and students in the special units. Each bag contained materials specific to the students' IEP goals. Additionally, the OTs and SLPs set up videos for students and parents to use at home.
As we move into spring 2021, we'll continue to inspire students through innovative education and adapt to best serve our Forney family.
Mr. Ferris, school board members, and Dr. Terry, you can see we've been very, very busy. And there was a phrase up there, it's a marathon, not a sprint, because we're halfway through the school year and we will finish strong and complete many of these programs. So at this time, do you have any questions?
Thank you, Dr. Weber. You know, sometimes when you're in the trenches, it's hard to remember what all you've actually accomplished. I know it took a lot of time to put that together, but just sitting back and looking at everything y'all did in spite of all the conflicts, the pandemic, and everything you've been up against, thank you. Good job.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 8, public forum. No one signed up to speak tonight, so we'll skip then to number 9, consent agenda. The board may take action on each of them separately or collectively. 9A is approve the minutes from December 7th. 9B, approve the budget amendments. 9C, approve the CD local as a final reading. 9D, approve the auditor contract. 9E, approve purchasing cooperative. And 9F, approve the construction bids. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Ferris, I make a motion to approve item 9A through F collectively.
Thank you, Mr. Carroll. Can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Regan? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I hear none. Thank you very much. Moving on to item 10, consideration possible approval of the Frontline Workers Resolution. Mr. Rick Gear, Chief of Human Services, will present.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. Dr. Terry, School Board. I had this lengthy and lavish presentation to give to y'all to explain the importance of staff and teachers in Forney ISD as well as across the state. I look out in the audience and I'm kind of preaching to the choir here a little bit. And so, but I will take just a minute to try to explain a little bit. You know, public schools impact millions of students, and staff also has a profound impact on families as well, from the care of their children to educating them to nourishing them on a daily basis. School personnel are an integral part of the health and safety of our communities as well. During this pandemic, our Forney ISD teachers were nothing but heroic. From our day-to-day operations at school to the instructional virtually and in person to meeting their social emotional needs on a daily basis as well. They really define true heroism in my mind. So as a result of this, we've kind of partnered with TASA and TASB and many of the state districts, and we're asking the board to support us by signing this resolution that we'll send in a letter to Governor Abbott and other local and state leaders to let them know the importance to hopefully be able to move staff up a little bit in the vaccination process to an appropriate level that they deserve. Mr. Ferris.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. You know, I think Rick said it best. You know, our staff's done such an incredible job, and we want to do everything we can to make sure that they have the opportunity to move up in the line, and have shared this with other school districts, and they are also very interested in participating, as well as even possibly the county. TASA and TASB are supporting this as well, and we hope that that is a collective voice, not just from Forney ISD, but around the state. So I recommend wholeheartedly that we approve the resolution tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. I have a motion. I have a second. Second. Mr. Andrews, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And I hear none. Thank you very much. Moving on to item 11, consideration and possible approval of the COVID leave extension resolution. Mr. Gear.
Well, this is really part two of, supporting our teachers. Again, as you may be well aware that December the 31st was the expiration, and let me quote it here, the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, which we call FFCRA, that expired on December the 31st. But we reasonably anticipate that employee absences related to COVID-19 illnesses will continue to occur throughout the foreseeable future. So with this expiration, we really believe that the maintenance of these benefits that will help ensure that employees can recuperate from COVID-19, from isolating to avoid the spread or to following health officials' instructions, and really generally help the health and wellness of our school community by us taking care of them financially. So substantial purpose exists in extending certain employee leave benefits of the FFCRA through the rest of the 2021 school year. So in this, obviously, it helps protect not only our staff, it helps protect our students, it helps protect the community as well. So thus, we're asking the board to adopt a resolution that we're terming the COVID-19 extended leave to extend the period of time by which employees may utilize the 10-day or 80 hours of emergency paid sick leave afforded to them, what was formerly the FFCRA. So I'll be glad to entertain any questions about that process.
Thank you, Mr. Gear. Any questions from the board?
Just one, Mr. Ferris. This captures any reason that they're missing work for direct contact tracing, any reason where they're missing work because of COVID related. I mean, or does it limit if they were directly had COVID? Just want to make sure.
Well, FFCRA covered about 6 components,
Right.
6 options that they could qualify for, not only what they call the EPSL, which is the emergency paid sick leave, but it also included the FML, the emergency family medical leave as well. So what we're doing in the resolution is that we're proposing that we continue the EPSL section of that, the emergency paid sick leave. And so some categories I actually knew that question was going to be asked, so I had a little cheat sheet here. So anything that's subject to federal, state, or local quarantine or isolation ordered by COVID-19, you've been advised by a healthcare provider to self-quarantine, or you're experiencing COVID-19 symptoms. There was one caveat on there that you would, if you were caring for an individual that had been diagnosed as COVID. But our attorney, when we visited with Haley on this, she said that person's exposed, so that would qualify them under the number 2 category.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
I hear no further questions. Dr. Terry?
Thank you, Mr. Ferguson. Again, we want to take care of our guys, our family here as always, and this is just one other opportunity that we can do that. Last thing in the world we want to do is have someone who may be close to being out of days for other reasons have to make sacrifices at their house or at work. And so we want to propose extension of FFCRA and the leave that comes along with that through this resolution.
Board, you've heard the resolution. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Ferris, I make a motion to approve the COVID leave extension resolution as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Andrews. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Ms. Green, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And I hear none. Thank you very much. Moving on to item 12, is closed session. At this time, the board will convene into closed session. It's now 7:56 p.m. We'll convene into closed session and pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551074 and 551071. No voting will take place in closed session. Any action the board wishes to take as a result of the closed session will take place after we reconvene back into open session. 12A will be deliberation regarding employment of professional contract personnel pursuant to Texas Government Code 551074. 12B is consultation with attorney pursuant to Texas Government Code 551071. And 12C is deliberation regarding the superintendent's summative evaluation and contract pursuant to Texas Government Code 551074 personnel matters. Thank you very much, and board will convene back upstairs. It's now 9:11. At 9:11, we'll now call this reconvene into open session. Moving on to item 13, consideration and possible approval regarding the employment of professional contract personnel. May I have a motion, please?
Mr. Ferris, I make a motion that the board approve the professional contract personnel as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Carroll. Do I have a second? Second. Mr. Andrews, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And I hear none. Moving on then to item 14, consideration and possible action regarding the superintendent's summative evaluation and extension for modification of superintendent's term contract. Do I have a motion?
Ferris, I move to extend the superintendent's contract by an additional year and authorize the board president to negotiate and execute a revised contract with the superintendent in accordance with the board discussion in closed session. And I move to approve the summative evaluation as discussed in closed session.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Regan? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And I hear none. Thank you very much. Moving on to announcements, please take note of the upcoming dates. January 18th is a holiday. Then Thursday, the 21st, we'll have a team of 8 training. And then our next regular meeting will be February the 8th. Any other announcements before we adjourn? Dr. Terry?
No, sir, just a reminder of next Thursday, team of 8. I think Mr. Ferris just said that. And then we'll get with you for some of our other discussions we need to have. And the next ribbon cutting, that date will be set as well over the next week.
Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate you once again. It's 9:12 p.m. and I will call this meeting adjourned.